Yo, yo, what is up, crew? And welcome back to another vlog. In this vlog, we're gonna have a conversation about accepting change and moving with the motions. Because during certain phases of life, as you get older, now I don't know how old you are, how young you are, or what phase of life you're in, but I can tell you that without a doubt, regardless of the phase of life that you are in, life will continue to humble you, and you will be given the opportunity, or rather, you'll be at a crossroads. On one side, you get to surrender, and on the other side, you get to accept the now that you're in. Now, life moves in motions, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's flowing in a good direction, sometimes it's flowing in a bad direction. However, it always goes back to your perception. Your perception is how you are choosing to view the thing that is truly happening around you. Sometimes for what it is, but most of the time as humans, we do a really great job of overanalyzing every finite detail and sometimes making it into something that it may not actually be. We're really good at that as humans, letting our minds fall into the dogmatic thinking of what could have been, what should have been, the what ifs, the I wishes. All of it is just fickle because it creates this paranoia in our mind of what we could have had if we would have done X, Y, Z. Well, guess what? This is where you're at. And if right here, right now is not where you want to be or not where you thought you would be, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, this thing that I went through, or this thing that I'm going through currently, whether it's a challenging thing, a kind of good thing, or maybe you just can't quantify if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I want you to take a minute right now and understand that champions and world-class thinkers lead through perspective introspection. Now, what does that actually mean? It means that you are going to give yourself a moment to introspectively sit with your thoughts and think through, like, what was this thing that I went through or that I'm going through? And I want you to think of 5 positive things that have happened in your life as a result of that. I can almost guarantee you that the thing that you're going through has many blessings in disguise, whether you choose to see it or not. It's so interesting. As humans, it's so easier to look around and find the negative in things. It's like humans are wired to see the negative, and truthfully, we are not wired to go through discomfort and disposition. We're just not wired that way. That's when we usually want to quit and throw in the towel and stop because it's too hard, it hurts too much. Now, I'm here to remind you that as humans in our binary, we are literally designed to survive. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm saying go jump out of a 20-story building and see if you can test it. Like, our body in this human flesh is malleable. However, our minds, our ingenuity, our cognitive process, it has made us with this innate ability, or has given us this innate ability to survive. Think back in the days of Australopithecus. This is BC, before Christ. And back then, regardless of the modality you believe in, whether it's we came from the primordial ooze or evolution or all power and all creator, regardless of what you believe in, I am explaining it in this video based off this perspective. Back in the days of Australopithecus, we had to do what we had to do to survive, the hunter-gatherer era. That is why in the mornings we are usually, if you're a normal person and not an overnight worker, we're usually waking up with the sequence of the sun, because that is in our binary. It's in our ancestral DNA, which still exists inside of us. Now, all of that to say, when it comes to survival, I think many people get stuck there. They get stuck in the dogma of just barely doing enough to survive. And if that resonates with you, and you're just stuck in this dogmatic thinking of, when will it get better? What can I do to save myself? Or I'll never be enough, or all these things, you're thinking in absolutes. I am in a phase of my life where I am not I'm trying to not think in absolutes. That means I will always, I will never, forever, things like that. It's like, I'll love you forever. Well, forever, I'm sure many of you have experienced, sometimes in a relationship, that forever actually isn't forever. And never, sometimes, isn't never. It's all a matter of perspective. And in retrospect, when you think in absolutes, you are setting yourself up for failure, because you are holding yourself or someone else to an absolute. So during this phase of my life, I'm trying not to lean in to absolutes. I've had some really productive weeks lately, and it's led to a lot of introspection. I will also add, I officially ordered all of the podcast equipment, all of the chairs, the studio setup, and I'm in the process this weekend of building out the entire studio. I'm kind of going back and forth with how I want the backdrop to look and like what type of aesthetic I want to use for it. I have a couple options, but currently I'm in between what I'm going to use for the back. But either way, it is going to be such a humbling and also very exciting time for me. I've wanted to do this video-based podcast platform for quite a long time. And truth be told, I've had Think Tank for a few years now, and it used to be centered around finance and cryptocurrency and day trading and things of that nature. And over time, oh my goodness, sorry, people in the morning in Carlsbad, they like kind of lollygag. And over time, Think Tank has kind of shifted in transition to more of like my lifestyle and things that are similar to this video. But these are short form content, and these are just more raw and real, and it's just me. I don't plan on making this a solo cast. It will have many exciting guests, at least 1 to 2 guests with me per show. And it's going to be so exciting because I see this being the next phase of creation that I'm stepping into. With that being said, champions lead through introspective perspective, or through introspection in perspective. Now, if you give yourself an opportunity to look in retrospect of all the things that have happened to you, I want you to think of the top 3, and I want you to think of 5 good things that happened as a result of that. I guarantee you, it is not as bad as you think. It is really easy to spot a yellow car when you're looking for a yellow car. With that being said, if you liked this video, and if you would like to like and subscribe to Think Tank, the podcast, the link is in the description. For Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the platforms, it'll be available. And if you could subscribe, I'll get the podcast studio up. I'll probably actually post a video of the entire build because it should be an exciting experience to do. But with that being said, it's a beautiful day to be alive, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I will see you